Two boys, one podcast. Two boys, one podcast. Your movie connection. When it's time for reflecting, we make fun of each other. Then do film reviews. Winner or loser. Is this movie right for you? Nope, it sucks. Don't press your luck. You better listen to us. Two boys, one podcast.
Mother always said life is like a box of chocolates, bitter, confusing, and three-quarters disappointment. Welcome to Two Boys, One Podcast.
It's a very good assessment of how this experience is for all of us, I think.
She's a wise lady.
Did your mother know that we'd be doing a podcast later?
I don't know. I don't know if she had foreseen that. She is a medium, a psychic, but...
Would you rather be eating a box of chocolates or doing this podcast?
I'd rather be doing the podcast. I hate chocolate, so
that's what I was getting at. I just didn't. I needed to know like how far in we were, because I know you don't like chocolate.
I mean, you ask me cotton candy, I'd be eating that cotton candy, but...
I mean, I've seen you with a pail full of cotton candy before.
A whole garbage sack full.
Yep.
Man, that
impressive.
Was a good day.
Yeah.
What is that? Who's playing the mandolin over there?
Jason is. Supreme Dingus over here. He's just like...
SD!
I mean, I was trying to convince him to do a Maestro triangle scene. He was like, no, only schmucks play triangle.
I love the fog.
Yeah. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
You should say that.
So instead he's like playing this orchestra music instead.
It's the Willow soundtrack.
What are we talking about? Where there's a willow, there's a way?
Where there's a willow, there's a way.
We'll get to it.
Baby. Hey, thanks for joining us, SD.
I'd say it's nice to have me, but I kind of forced myself on this podcast as well.
This is an interesting situation.
I didn't even know until Saturday that you were joining us.
Yeah, I kind of pushed myself on here.
Both pushed himself upon us and quit in the same day. He's like, I'm doing this one, and I'm never doing it again.
Yep.
So
yeah, no, I'm handing the reins back over. This was, I regret this one entirely.
We're supposed to have reins?
You think this is bad? Boy,
oh
boy.
No, well, actually, I went back and listened to your Brewster McCloud one.
Oh my god!
You guys were talking about on the Halloween special about just how bad that was, and the moment it starts, I could hear the rage in both of your guys' voices. So
it was such a supreme disappointment. God. I think both of us really wanted it to be good. Like we had high expectations. Yeah. We were excited. We're like, all right, we're getting out of this ditch that we created. No,
man, we had such a terrible string of movies, and then that was gonna be it.
It was our hand up, and instead it was like just a corpse that wasn't giving us a hand up. It's like welcome to hell. And like, oh no,
it swung down that sweet chariot.
What were the ones previous to that you guys had issues with?
All of them.
Why not all of them?
Yeah, give me a.
Let me consult. I think from there we went to Frog.
Bible. Okay,
we did go to Frog. I know.
And Rob was less than pleased about that.
It ended up being okay. It's just you kind of stuck it to me on that one.
I really did. And to be fair, it was like a reaction. So I don't hate that movie. I watched it young enough where it wasn't terrible. But like we'd been sticking it to each other several times before that. Yeah. So I really thought you might like that one more than you did, which is okay. I respect that.
I just think, so much these movies and our ratings and feelings for them come from the previous movies.
True.
And so, anyways, I got it. Before Brewster, we had Sisters. Before that, Superman 2, Live and Let Die, Running Man.
Oh, God.
It really wasn't that terrible.
No, Live and Let Die, like the beginning was fun, but I like Bond, and you don't. And that movie was disappointing even for me.
Yeah.
Running Man wasn't terrible.
Well, and then Harry Met Sally, but then
I liked that one. I did. Yeah,
I did too. But then after that, that's when we really get bad. Ninja Academy.
Go ahead, tell me your life story.
Anyways, there we go.
Now, Sisters, didn't you like Sisters at first, and then it fell apart? I feel like I remember listening to that when I was like mowing the lawn, and you were like, "Oh, this." Maybe you had high hopes for it.
Yeah,
and then it fell apart.
Well, it's Brian De Palma. Like I really like
Criterion Collection.
Yeah, like I don't know that we expected it to be good. I think so. I take that back. I think we expected it to be good because it was in the Criterion Collection. And then it was very much not good.
It wasn't terrible. It was just very disappointing.
Yeah, like it's just another mediocre film at the end of the day. And that's the thing. Like if you go to a bad movie but your expectations are low, you don't hate it. If you go to a movie you expect to be good and it's mediocre, you're very disappointed. And we went into both Brewster and Sisters thinking, hey, these sound incredible.
Knock them out of the Astrodome, like
Yeah.
Brewster McCloud on a
My God.
pair of handmade wings.
Yeah, I was going to pull some sound clips from that, but they were just all so angry. So I wasn't sure people would know it was from that.
I mean, you would know better because you're the only person, maybe coming up, you're not the only person anymore, but right now you're the only person today who's listened to every episode of the show.
Well, yeah.
So this is your penalty.
Everyone,
this is your penance. Yeah. You're welcome. So
You're
if
in the
you don't
99
recognize
percentile, buddy.
that it's from that show, then no one else will recognize it's from
I
that
think
show.
you're just saying about Willow.
But I remember, if I remember correctly, there was a tornado warning going on during the recording of that show. It was either...
Oh, yeah.
There was.
Yeah, that's how you started off. You're just like, they said to get in the basement and turn off all the lights, and you're like, well, I'm going to be upstairs.
I was full on Lieutenant Dan on that one. I was like, bring the storm, baby.
Well, you were like, I saw some clouds forming. You know what it was? You were like mad because you were trying to film or take pictures of
I was
the
trying
funnel
to take
clouds forming.
I stopped twice on the way home to do the podcast, and really didn't.
That was
and then
I might have had some snakes in the basement too.
There were. I called it. Yeah, we had a lot of snakes. We did. I take it back. There were several snakes in the basement.
He's a real Indiana Jones.
There was one. I can't handle snakes, but there was one snake that was 6 feet long. It was a bull snake, and I called him Ferdinand the bull snake. These were not pets. I took the laundry down and he struck at me, and then I went to kill him, and he crawled into the ceiling like it was Viet fucking Nam. And after that, I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
That was when you were in Canton, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that was not here.
No, not where we're recording right now. Now there's just a bunch of films about snakes in the basement.
When I was there Saturday doing the Halloween special, I did release some snakes in your house.
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah.
I put them in the ceiling and down the toilet, and just a couple
snakes on a basement.
Well, they had panel ceilings, so you definitely could have done that.
Yeah, these gosh darn.
My nightmare all over again.
Serpents.
Gol darn it. Gol darn snakes on a gol darn plane. Was that the title?
Gee whiz, right? I'm tired of these slithers and this
he's doing a really good
contraption.
Sammy J impression now.
That's my Sammy.
Is that what that was?
Gee whiz!
Golly gee
Who
willikers,
put all these serpents in here?
Yeah.
I'm sure
people are going to think that this is like...
I sure am getting...
a last will and testament to
kinda,
release 2 podcasts
They're kind of bugging me.
That's very good impression. I mean, it's basically like you're quoting the film at this point.
Pretty good. I know. I do a pretty good Samuel.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah.
You guys seen Snakes on a Plane? I've never seen it.
I have seen it.
Yeah, I saw. I was part of the. They forced the cult following, but
I may have actually watched it on a plane. No, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not even like fun bad. It's just kind of.
Oh, I was thinking maybe it was fun bad. Okay.
No, I mean, I think if you go back and watch now, it kind of is. But the problem is they filmed it in the hopes of making it a cult following. It's like that's not how that works.
Sure, you're right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's still kind of fun to watch. But,
the music video for it is the best part for me.
Oh yeah, I did. Who sung that? I did.
Cobra Starship.
Oh yeah, that was actually really catchy too.
And it was it wasn't just Cobra Starship, but they had like 3 other singers from bands, and then they actually had Samuel L. Jackson in the music video. So it's kind of a fun music video. Like more than that, it is a fun music video. It's just like it's a cool thing by itself, and then you realize that they made a movie out of it, and it's less fun.
The video was first.
Well, I think they released the music video to get hype for the movie, but it was done simultaneously.
Okay, gotcha.
And in the way I understood it, anyway.
Do you remember when you could have Sam Jackson call you? Remember that one?
I do. I wish I would have done it.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, well, it was like he pre-recorded a bunch of names, so you could like have someone call me like,
"Oh, sure,
hey,
sure.
Zeke."
I mean, he definitely did not record my name.
No, it's true.
As an option. But it wasn't long before that, and I actually missed the window because Don LaFontaine was the voice of In a World in all the Hollywood trailers. He's the guy that spearheaded that. And for a while back in in like the 2010s, he would, for a nominal fee, it was honestly like $50, he'd leave a voicemail. He'd record your outgoing voicemail for you.
Oh, that would have been fun.
And then before I got around to doing it, he died, which is just... It was a bummer. I was a big fan. Like I liked watching movie trailers a lot, but I liked a lot of them because he was the voice for them. So
it was iconic.
He was just one of those iconic, like rare voices that you could tell it was him all the time.
I've heard better.
You have not.
I have.
Not on this podcast.
Sure. I won Wait, Don't Tell Me, so I have Peter Sagal on my...
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Did he help you through it? Are you sure you want to guess B? Are you sure that it's not A?
Are you sure?
He doesn't do that as much anymore. But it was a lot of fun when he helped people to win. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
He's a nice guy.
I've never met him. He's never recorded my outgoing voicemail. So
he flew in to I was in
Canton
Wyoming
International, or the Afton Airport, corner Afton and Afton, just to do your voiceover.
Sure
like he borrowed
he held
your
he
phone
bungeed
and
down right
recorded
in my
it.
house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good old Afton.
He's bald.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive to be bald.
Not everybody can pull it off.
You're right. No, that's true. He boy.
Well, it's been a bit since we've done 2 podcasts in a week, but it's also been a bit since we've actually done a non-special. So this is special, but it's a non-special.
Wow. Well, the rumors that
episode 51. Oh my gosh, it's the start of a new age.
It is. It's just it feels so different than it did a few days ago.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like fresh air on a cold winter day.
It's 2021. We watched a movie. Man.
Things are looking up.
Just one movie, too, not 5.
Oh, my God.
No, not that. Just one. One great one. Really good.
So do you want to jump into Willow? What do you want to do here?
Yeah, I guess we can do. I mean, we're only 11 minutes in. We usually schmooze for at least 13.
That's true.
You think we can drag it out for another minute? I got 11:52.
Do like a 90-second moment of silence and let all of our listeners
how about
just bail?
For our loyal listeners, loyal. No, I don't. Not this time. For our loyal listeners who might have listened to the Halloween podcast, let's do a follow up on yours this past Saturday. Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh yeah,
how'd that go?
It went pretty well. We had it wasn't like a packed house, but we had as many people in there as I think we could have without losing visibility. And I really enjoy that movie. I think it's not only a cool 1980s film.
Oh yeah, hurt me.
It's a really cool, like, lighthearted, dark comedy, and it's one of my favorite musicals. 86. The original was 1950, I think, but
that one's terrible.
This one's
awful.
1986. And we also showed a local film, and we showed the alternate ending. So,
excellent.
Yeah, I think it went well. So that must have taken at least 90 seconds to talk about that.
Did you show them the alternate ending?
We did. We showed the alternate ending.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah, and a lot of them liked it more.
Oh.
Yeah. Actually, SD here is the reason we were able to show a digital alternate ending. So.
Yes, I ripped it legally. Could you technically own it?
We paid. Yeah, we paid to screen it.
So, Rob, are you familiar with the alternate ending to Little Shop of Horrors?
No.
Oh no, you're not.
I don't think Rob's seen Little Shop of Horrors.
I've seen it.
Have you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he
hates musicals.
The original ending is amazing. It's like all the plants, like, Seymour gets eaten. Spoilers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And suddenly Seymour.
Yeah, suddenly gets consumed. Because he basically is responsible for the death of a number of people. Audrey gets eaten. Mm-hmm. She does not survive. And
Audrey 1 gets eaten by Audrey 2.
Yes, exactly. Ironically enough. And then all these plants take over the world, and there's this huge musical number that never made it into the non-original one, and it actually cost it like doubled the budget of the film, only for them to cut it because test audience was like, we hate this ending. It's like, well, this is what makes it mean something. The whole.
So I don't know if
atoning for their sit,
Rob and I have made a musical before. Not necessarily a sing-along musical, but it was a musical and dance number short film.
Have you seen this?
Yeah. You have not seen it.
Have I heard of this?
It's called Carl and the Vampires.
Oh, I have heard of this.
I don't think you've seen it.
Is that the one that Trent helped
zombie.
On? I don't know if he helped on it.
I don't know. I know he
may have showed up, I guess.
Well,
so I'm not saying.
There's a lot of people.
It's been a lot of people. Yeah, there were a lot of people. He may have come down. I don't remember. I'd have to look at the credits. A lot of things went wrong. So that I remember the things that went wrong. But Trent may have come down for that.
I remember one thing that went right. He got one hell of a substitute.
So
zombie.
So we had our 3 leads. Three out of the 4 leads
me too.
bailed day of filming. And so Rob we had talked about this ahead of time. He had specifically not wanted to be in it. He wanted to help just make it. Mm-hmm. So he was, I think you were supposed to be like first AD or something, Rob. Do you remember what you were going to do?
Yeah, I think that is correct. To my now
and then 3 out of the 4 were like, nah, got blah, blah, blah. And while they're like 2 of them were legitimate issues, they would have known about those issues 4 days prior. And they just decided not to share that information with us.
Was that their way out? Is that what I think they just held off on? Like, oh, by the way, so because you couldn't reschedule and
so like that was the thing. Like it was written for specific people in mind, and none of them came. So it was kind of like this, hell with this. We're gonna make a movie, and we shot for like, I don't know if it was 2 days or if it was one really long day. Do you remember, Rob?
I think it was one really long day.
I think it was one really long day.
You had Brian down, and he could only be there.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought.
You were still in college at the time?
No, this was
right
like
after?
I want to say it was like 2015.
No.
Yeah. Was it 2009? No.
Yeah, not 2015, please.
I remember I had just come back from Deutschland.
Okay, the first time.
Yeah, and that was...
Maybe it was 9.
Pretty sure it was 2009.
Okay, so I would have just been back from Denver. Like 9 months back from Denver.
Maybe 8. Might have been the end of 8. It was right before Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was right before Christmas. So it was either 08, 09. So okay, so we're shooting on standard definition stuff, and man, like we had some very high hopes for it actually. We'd gotten 5 songs from Here Come the Mummies, or four songs from Here Come the Mummies, and 1 song from I can't remember her name, out of Iowa. Yeah. Very fun soundtrack. Like we had actually, if you Google that movie, the soundtrack comes up like on Google's first page. Like somebody has created an album out of our movie. I don't know who they are, but I'm not going to stop them.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's a good album.
I actually, now that you mentioned that, I remember that. I forgot, because I remember you talking about who was it? Who are the Mummies? What?
Here Come the Mummies.
Here Come the Mummies.
Here they come.
And man, like it so many things went sideways, but I am like, we got it done. It took I think probably what it was is like so many things had gone wrong. I didn't edit it right away, and I don't think I actually edited that project until 2015 is what it was. I just took I sat on it for a while because there was no deadline.
Right.
Could be.
And nothing had gone right. Like nothing had gone right.
Seems late.
Yeah, except we had a really killer lead in our co-host here.
Just the best. Just the best.
Oh, were you a lead, Rob?
Yeah.
Well, lead zombie. I'm kidding. I think I did terrible. So.
I mean,
did you have many lines?
No,
I was a zombie, baby.
He was a zombie the whole time.
I don't know. I've been singing, dancing, talking zombies.
So he does dance.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a dancing zombie.
I do dance. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At the time, we have 2 dance numbers.
That's when I met Tyler. It's all coming back to me.
Yep. Yeah. So the co-writer of our Frankenstein series, that's where they met for the first time on that movie too.
Funny.
It's a very campy film, but there's no salvaging it. We even lost our location like days before the shoot. Like my dad and I had painted like a whole wing of a former dorm that was abandoned. Like it was still owned, but it was abandoned. And then they didn't want to accept our insurance last minute after they'd already accepted it.
After you painted for them.
After we literally painted everything and like had lined up space heaters and everything, and we had the whole run of the place, so like audio was not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about all of that. What a nightmare. So Trent may have come down for that.
Yeah, I know he did because I remember seeing the photos of it. So
sure.
I think he was there just to PA wherever you needed them.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. What a mess.
I mean, at least things have gotten better since then.
Totally. Oh my God, my life is a nightmare.
Well, this has been another gripping episode of Zeke Talks About Movies.
Yep.
So hey guys, Willow.
Let's talk about another one.
Hold on. Zeke, week. It's time for the next segment. Zeke, week. Jason, you want to get on this? It's time for the next segment. Gonna talk about a movie. It's called Willow. It's got some trolls. It's like a elephant, walrus, hydra, and there's also a witch. Talking about it with 2 of my friends, and here we go. Yeah. Okay.
Just
Willow.
like that Coldplay song, we finally watched Willow.
From the director
Willow, get a job!
A world is awakening.
Why, with the strength of my great army, can you not find one little child?
It's a dangerous world. That's why we need your help.
Your journey has just begun.
Man,
Willow.
Grandma. That's Don LaFontaine. Willow.
Heroes come in all sizes. But adventure doesn't come any bigger than this.
Find the child. Find the child.
We are not afraid of you. After them!
Listening to it rather than watching the trailer honestly lands somewhere between Star Wars and Back to the Future.
Sure.
Or the Star Wars
The
Christmas
next
special.
great adventure.
The next great
You
adventure.
are great.
Willow.
Great.
Coming in May.
Oh, we were early. Or late.
I think we're right on time.
Oh, okay.
Coming in May.
In
So-
a world.
In a world. So it's a 1988 film about a young farmer who is chosen to undertake a perilous journey in order to protect a special baby from an evil queen.
Yeah, he's a peck.
A bushel and a peck. So this is interesting because it's Ron Howard directed, George Lucas created.
Oh, I never pay attention to those kinds of things. I didn't realize.
Peck, 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 peck.
What, is there a chicken in the house?
So I actually have a peck for you, Rob. Peck, 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 peck. So we connected this from Nuns on the Run through Tex Fuller. And
we used
What's
used
that?
them before?
no,
we've
we've not used him before, but
Oh,
he
okay.
actually didn't play a character in this film with a name. He did stunts. So
I think
Oh, you guys messed up.
no,
I think
no,
we're
it's
going to
fine.
assume that he's one of the horsemen,
I'm not assuming shit.
or he's in the army.
No, it's fine if it's on the IMDb. Maybe he's eligible.
He doesn't. Well, so I think he must have played one of the horsemen or the swordsmen.
Could have been one
Masks.
of those dogs.
He
Those
could
are
have been
cool.
one of those dogs.
Dog.
But he's
Those
just
big
listed
dogs.
as stunts on IMDb. He's not actually listed
Okay.
as acting in it. But we are going to assume, because there are like hundreds of people in this movie that are not listed, and I didn't want to sit through 9 minutes of credits to find out if he was listed. So I'm giving you the benefit there. But
Lazy.
shut up. But yeah, what do you think, Rob? Go ahead and jump in. You'd seen this before, right?
No, I actually hadn't seen. I think probably, like Jason was saying, and I can't remember what, but I'd probably seen it all in bits and pieces across the years, but I'd never sat down and watched it in one sitting.
Had you seen this, Jason?
No, I mean, I think when I was, but a wee lad.
Sure.
So probably late 80s when I saw it. So my best friend growing up, I think it was one of his like go-to films. So I'm pretty sure I saw it in pieces at his place, but I can't remember sitting through the entire thing. So
Well, it's a long movie. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I think there is a longer version.
is there?
I think there is an extended
Cool.
cut. But it's weird because I think I may have seen like some of the battle sequences growing up, but I've never sat through it before this. And John Cusack considers losing out to Val on this film as his biggest disappointment, which is a weird bit of trivia. That's weird.
Yeah, because this was not a well-reviewed, well-received film. Like
Yeah.
it barely made money, but not in the sense where
It
anyone
didn't
would consider
bomb.
a success.
Yeah.
No, it was not a success.
Well, it's actually interesting because before we get into it, like I don't know that it's weird, like what Lucas has with Spielberg and like everything is like one-upsmanship. Like he thought this would be an E.T. type movie, and I don't know how you could have ever considered this to be an E.T. type movie. And then with Ron Howard, I don't get any of Ron Howard from watching this at all. Like he did Cocoon. That's where they advertised him as doing Cocoon on this movie. That makes no sense.
Sure. Well, the witch, she gets turned old there at the end.
Yeah.
Perfect. Boom.
Just boom.
Cocoon.
Well, it's definitely. I think it's so far out. He wanted to film a fantasy film. That's basically what he was, because he did Cocoon. He and Lucas were kind of friends, and after American Graffiti.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to do a fantasy film. And he's like, well, I have this one that's been in the works. I'm gonna.
Well, and Warwick won him over on Star Wars.
Yep.
So it was written specifically for him.
Really?
Yep. So,
Yeah. Because he was like 17.
Oh, Ron.
No,
Yeah.
he not Ron, but he won over
Warwick
Lucas.
Davis, yep. So,
Yeah.
he became good friends with Lucas over at during
A New Hope, right?
no,
Gotcha.
no, Return of the Jedi.
Well, it was
Return of the
You're
Jedi.
right.
Because he was Ewok. He
So
was
that's
Wicket.
right. It was an Ewok. And that
What are you, an
actually,
idiot?
this gives a very much like an Endor feel.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
Isn't it
yep.
Endor where the Ewoks are from?
Endor, yep. You
This
got
is
it.
very
Who
much
are
like
you?
that.
Return to
It's
Endor.
nothing like Endor.
It is very like the battle
No,
scenes
it
and
isn't.
everything.
This is-
Yes, it is. Get out
This
of
is
here.
more. This is more like Lord of the Rings.
Shut up.
You shut up. There's no waterfalls on Endor.
We don't know.
You
We
idiot.
didn't see much of it. Like it was just a bunch of like Ewoks
It's just
roaming
a trees,
around.
a forest.
Get out of here.
Everywhere's got trees.
So like,
Doesn't make it like
I
anything
feel,
else.
I feel like it's very like King Arthur meets Moses in the Ten Commandments meets Princess Bride, mixed with the cartoon Hobbit. Like
What?
That's what I feel like.
You explain yourself.
No, because like so you have Mad Mortigan, which is like they definitely
Mardigan.
Mad Mardigan. They definitely got that name from the villain in King Arthur, like Vortigern.
Sure.
And then it's like the Sword and the Stone's power with the Excalibur. They have this weird wand this whole movie. So I feel like they took that from
Which
Excalibur.
never gets used the entire film.
Never gets used appropriate the entire
Nope.
film. And then like Princess Bride, like the rodents were definitely that Princess Bride vibe. Like 100% the ROUS.
Sure.
100% that.
Yeah.
And then the cartoon Hobbit was like more creepy, I feel like. And this kind of has like a
Well, Princess Bride came out 87, by the way, so that.
so very much like similar.
Yeah,
this is
but-
1 year
but-
later.
Yeah, okay, but he couldn't pull from it if it was a year later.
They weren't pulling from it, but they may have had the same props at some point.
Okay, yes, all right.
I don't think they were that close. I mean, this one was obviously dogs with like a shag yarn rug put over them, and the other one was a guy in a suit.
They were like rat pigs, is what they were.
Yeah, and it
they were
scared the
messed up.
shit out of Jackson.
Yeah.
I tried
Oh,
to
100%.
I tried to sit down and watch it
Yeah,
with
sure.
him, and we got about 10 minutes into it, and those things showed up. He's like, "Dad, I'm done."
Hard pass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was out for a 6-year-old. No, he was
Yeah.
out. So
Well, I didn't find
Good
in,
for him
in
for
looking
knowing I would
at.
have sat there and suffered if I was.
I mean, it is interesting because it is like it's a quest film, like, and it's, so you have very similar entities to like the Hobbits and Gandalf, except instead of wizards, it's witches, and then you have the
Sorcerers.
okay, and that you have the soldiers who are chasing him all over, and they kind of pick up a Strider and Val Kilmer.
yeah, it's a typical fantasy.
Yeah, like there's nothing new
plot
on
film.
this
There's
one.
nothing new
Yeah.
in this one. You are correct.
But it is interesting in that they cast so many people. Like this would have been a hard movie to produce. It was like 256 small people that they cast.
Yeah, I think they said it was the largest number.
I
Especially
think
the
to date
Elwyn,
it is
yeah,
still the largest.
the
is.
Elwyn Village,
Yeah.
which was I think probably one of my favorite parts was actually that world building
Yeah.
of the village and seeing them.
Yep.
And then we
Yeah.
left it, and it. Well, we'll get into it. But
Well, they don't have it confirmed, but they think that Peter Dinklage is also in that scene.
I mean,
Yeah. So I
if
mean,
he was alive, he had to. Have been.
he would have been 17, which is the same. I think the same as Davis. And this is, I mean, the world building in this is incredible. And they traveled literally the world to do scenes on it. I don't understand why they did that, but they did it, and they spent
Well,
a
they
lot
gotta
of
get-
money.
Why did they do it? Because they were getting the dang baby to the good people.
Not to
What's it-
film it, they
forgetting
could
that.
have filmed it anywhere. Like I'm just saying, like the filming part
They
of it.
filmed in front of a green screen.
They did. They only filmed the brownies in front of a green screen.
Yeah, there was a lot of matte
Oh.
paintings, and actually they filmed in
Well, whatever.
New Zealand.
They did New Zealand. They did some parts of Europe. Yep.
You know what
So-
else was filmed in New Zealand? Lord of the Rings, Zeke. Lord of the Rings.
I've never heard of it before.
Lord of the what?
I mean, that's
Bitches.
probably if that's true, then those rat pigs are real. So get your dogs
Cool.
out of here.
Cool. They're gonna wreak havoc on the Kiwi population.
That's very true. I liked the
Kiwis.
line. What did you call? What was the village called? Nywil?
Elwyn,
Elwyn.
the Elwyn Village.
The Elwyn
yeah.
Village. Like I liked the elder there who was like, I'm gonna consult the bones. The bones tell me nothing.
Praise the bones.
Billy
Praise
Barty
the bones.
Yeah.
is the actor. Billy Barty is amazing because he was the guy in He-Man Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
No, he was Gwildor. That's why I
Gwildor,
recognized
yeah, that's it. I
him.
couldn't think of the name.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Billy Barty's an amazing actor, so I'm pretty sure he passed away some time ago. But
I knew I recognized him. Okay.
I wasn't when I don't know if it was his mother or his wife that gave him the rat tail.
his wife.
Was it his wife? Okay,
Yeah,
I wasn't sure.
know.
Like I didn't know because it seemed like it was like good luck, son, kind of a situation. Like I don't. They just like hugged.
He was like making out with her in the film. Like
I guess I missed that
And there
part.
was these two
at
kids,
the,
what
at
do you-
the end, he like I knew that they were his kids, but at the end they just like hug.
Mm.
So I was like,
Well,
okay, I don't know.
They're
they were.
pecs. Maybe
I mean,
that's how pecs. You know, in Neverland they give out buttons. In
Gimli, like they have bearded wives. You know, that's just heck. But I like after the bones told him nothing, like ignore the bird,
Chicken's back.
follow the
Chicken's
river.
back. Yeah, I had that one.
Good luck.
Hang on. and that was my hope for the film. Was like I was like, oh, that was actually kind of fun and kind of witty and
Yeah.
you know, kind of tongue in cheek. And that's where it ended for me. That was absolutely the best line and the best delivered line of the film, and that was it. I was like, I
Yeah.
could have stopped there. So
I think that this movie, they spent so much time on world building that I feel like they couldn't not include it in the movie for them. Like it should have been a hard 90-minute movie.
easily, yeah.
And it was 40 minutes longer.
Well, there were
than that.
so many scenes that could have gotten cut. So
Yeah.
many just like filler scenes. Where I was like,
Sure.
why are we watching this? Like, and I get it, the idea was like more world building, more character building, but I felt it didn't do any of that. I thought it was just filler for the sake of just putting it in there. So, I was. Spoiler alert: I was not a fan of Willow at all. I was not. So that's why I'm like, yep, I want to do this one with you. And I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm out.
I'm hired. I quit.
Yep,
That was SD over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to my self-appointed producer.
Pull the Kramer.
Yep. So,
what do you think, Rob?
Excuse me. I didn't. I guess I'm. Zeke, you haven't really said, but I assume you hated it with a passion.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it.
They didn't know how to run correctly, and
No, I don't.
there
have,
was no nudity. So,
okay, I didn't
Not gonna dock there.
actually. Spoiler alert! I do not dock for running in this film, and I also do not dock for the nearly naked
Sword.
witch at the end.
well,
So
is it because she was old?
again, like it was one step away from qualifying for the $-, but it walked to the edge, walked back.
it's
So-
just nudity. I thought.
no,
it was
so a naked witch
sexualizing
or naked witch orgy.
Oh right, I forgot
Yeah, on
about
that one,
Naked
yeah.
Witch orgy. Right. How dare I forget that?
Yeah, peck. Actually, it was the
Chicken's
production on this must have been brutal, because the children, like the little girl that they have that they're trying to like save this whole movie, grew up while they made this movie to a point
Oh,
where
really?
where Davis couldn't hold her. So they had multiple children that they would trade out and like a robotic child. I think there were 2 or 3 kids, and like because
And
at
a
one
robot?
point one of the producers is like, "Hey,
Ooh.
my niece just had a baby. Do you want to use that baby?" And then they had like a animatronic baby that could turn its head a little bit, so they could hold it and it would look like it was moving
I bet it's just a sack of flour.
because it can't turn its head.
Can we go through the plot? Can we go through the plot of this a little bit?
Okay,
let's
SD,
go through
go
the plot
ahead.
of Willow.
Sure.
Can you find the plot?
Well, I mean, the plot's
All right,
pretty simple.
go
I mean,
ahead.
you kind of
Yeah.
covered it. I just want to go through it because I have so many issues with just like bits and pieces of this
me.
film. So, and I wanted to like Willow. Like
Yeah.
I liked the idea of this. And I know it kind of goes back to like, oh, that's a Hobbit. You know, it's basically
I honestly
what it
thought
is,
this was a
but-
classic film.
see?
I did. Yeah. So go ahead.
And
walk
there
me
is
through the
I think
pitfalls.
there's a huge cult following on it.
Yeah.
I believe.
Well,
that
they
is-
rebooted. Like Disney Plus has a show coming out this next 2022 about Willow.
Is Warwick Davis? in
Oh,
it?
really? Okay.
Yes, he is.
Okay, because I love Warwick Davis. I think I
Yeah.
like all the stuff he's in. I like Val Kilmer.
He may or may not be in it because of health concerns.
Well, yeah, I can't imagine Val Kilmer's going to be in it. He's like, and he's kind of struggling right now.
Yeah.
so.
But it hasn't stopped his career.
so.
But
No,
he's struggling.
not at all. So he's still doing what he wants to do, and good
Yep.
for him. You know,
Yep.
he doesn't need to prove himself anymore.
No, that's true.
Actually, I would prefer if they didn't wheel him out, into this film.
Yeah, I don't
It's
need
just like,
that to happen.
No, because how is this 30? How old is this film? 86,
88. This is 88.
88. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So this
God.
this is 33. Yep, 33 years old.
Yep. Actually, Rob, I'm gonna defer this to you. Tell me about
Oh.
Willow. Tell me what happens in Willow.
Okay, here we go.
It doesn't have to be the super fast version. We can just just run,
You just took the wind
run
out of
through
his
it.
sails.
I know.
Sorry.
What a
'Cause I know
time
he's-
bandit
I
thing
I'm
to
gonna get
do.
the hiccups now.
I knew he was gonna do. So
Hey, only a seasoned listener knew what would be happening. So I give you kudos for sensing.
I could hear it. It was like,
So you got a village of small creatures,
Small farmers.
humanoids called pecks, and
A bushel in a peck.
they find a baby, kind of like a baby Moses floating down the river.
Yep, very much. That's
is this where
Yeah.
your baby Moses is coming from?
that was for the baby Moses and King Arthur. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. And so Warwick Davis, him and his family take it in, and they take it to the village, and the village is like, oh, that's gonna. They're all kind of, superstitious because this is like olden times.
It's also the beginning of Elf.
Right. Well, they don't want to. Well, he doesn't want to take me in, which I thought was kind of fun. That he was just like, leave it, just push it down the river.
Yeah.
We don't want to deal with this.
They should have
He
just
did
used
say
this
just
beginning
push it
as
down.
beginning of Elf.
Which I was like, all right, that's dark. Fine. It's like, fuck you, baby.
Let's send it back at one point.
You guys made me think about it. It actually kind of reminds me of Beastmaster in some ways. I don't know if you guys have ever seen.
I've never seen that.
But you were talking.
I don't remember.
About. It's kind of has a darker tone than some of the things you guys mentioned. I felt like in some
Darker
instances
tone than
anyways.
pushing an infant baby down the river.
Yeah, right.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
I need to revisit that one. I loved Beastmaster.
Maybe
Yeah,
I
me
missed
too.
that
That was
one.
one of those movies that was on TV all the time.
Yeah, I remember.
And I watched
TNT.
it. And I never was sure if it was like Beastmaster 1, 2, 3, or 10. I
There
don't know how
are
many they
10?
made, but
Right.
there were so many.
My God.
And they progressively got worse, but I still always watched them. So,
Worse than one.
what do you mean worse
I feel
than
like
one?
if you, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Hey, man.
But I feel
One
like if
is
you
fun.
make
One is great.
a
80s film.
movie called Beastmaster and you make 10 of them, you're making a commitment that
I think-
none of
I
them
think
will
there
be
were
good.
3. I think there were at least 2, but I'm pretty sure there was 3. But
All right.
my concern,
All right.
my first complaint about
Sock it to us.
is he was like, oh, I don't want this baby, and then they take it in, and like, I get it, you're gonna fall in love with the baby,
Yeah.
but they don't show it.
No, they just kind of
never
blow
show-
through that.
Yeah, and that was the main problem I have with this movie is that we're just assuming it's like, oh, time passed. Like, well, how much time passed? Like,
Yeah.
and I think that yes, he would come to love the baby, but they never show the transition of why he looks at the baby and the baby smiles at him. He's like, okay, now I love this baby.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
It does seem
That's
that
not how
as
this works.
as the film progresses, that it's not so much his concern for the baby as much as it is that he doesn't want the world to end as he knows it. Because I get
Yeah.
like he doesn't want his other 2 kids at home to be affected by this either.
Mm.
But it isn't so like this baby has a wild ride in this movie.
Sure does.
And
Little tyke.
yeah, I mean it was a trooper. And at no point was it like, oh, the baby. It's more like, don't let her kill the baby.
Right.
Like, oh, okay. Right.
I was missing that connection with what is Warwick's Willow? I was like,
His name's Willow.
What's his character's name? I don't know the name of the film, but I never see that connection with
Elm Tree.
the baby. Like I see, like his wife is
Weeping.
connects with the baby more than he ever does.
Yeah.
That really bothers you guys that much? That
It doesn't bother me. It is just weird that
It
it's
bothers
as
me.
long as it is
I'll give you it's weird, but
without a.
I don't know.
Well, then he take. Well, then
I'm
well,
sure. I
there's
mean, the
festival.
extended cut is probably like 30 minutes longer than this.
Well,
I
that's.
didn't know
I
it was
mean,
extended.
so I mean, let's say. Well, I guess he says he falls in love with him. Do you love this child? Yes.
But why? He's just like, do you love this child?
Yeah, no, I know. But what I was going to say is maybe he fell in love with it on the way to when they run into Mad Mardigan. They're going to bring him to the what are they called? The human
Dakinis.
Dakinis.
Yep.
Maybe he fell in love with her there. I don't know.
And that's
maybe he's
fine.
just like,
I agree with that.
This is a baby. I got to take care of it. Do I love it? Sure.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. Like, okay, so Willow wants to be the sorcerer, right? Like the whole
He
point of
keeps
this.
claiming that he's a sorcerer,
Yeah.
but he also he's like, I'm more
Fake
of a
it till you make
farmer.
it.
Like I know tricks. Yeah.
But he doesn't. It's all like I was thinking that like okay maybe he goes to the festival and he shows
Stuck
off
a
some
flaming
actual
stick through his arm.
But it was all just tricks. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't actual magic.
No,
They used that whole thing
that
less to
was
develop him
real.
as a sorcerer and more to develop the foreshadowing of how he protects the baby at the end because he does that pig trick and then the baby trick. Mm-hmm. And they're an hour and a half apart.
Yeah, and that's fine. I don't mind the setup and payoff. But the problem is like at no point it's you're like, wait, is there actually do these guys actually know magic? Because Billy Barty's character, I don't remember what his freaking name is. You know, he throws the bones down. He's like, the bones, they tell me nothing. It's like, well, why are you telling him that? So like, are you just like now admitting that you don't know jack shit about magic?
Yeah.
You know, well then later, then 10 minutes later, he's like, oh, I just turned this rock into a bird. It's like, okay,
and
well,
also
apparently
the bird
you do
wants
know.
to go home.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
So like not even he has a firm grasp on the sorcery.
But at least that's fun. That was fun though. But like,
Yeah.
I was just like, why is he admitting this to Willow that he's like, the bones tell me nothing? It's like, but do you have a relationship with Willow where you would tell him something like that? Like,
it does not.
It didn't
That's
He's
make
just
not
an
any
honest. He's just an
sense.
honest guy.
Yeah.
How many
Peck for
warlocks
honest
have
people.
you met that are honest?
He was
Yeah,
honest with
dude.
Willow, but he was honest with everyone else until
Yeah.
he's just like, oh, the bones tell me, Burgle Cut, you have to go too, which
Yeah.
was actually kind of funny. He's like, what the?
What happened to Burglepuck?
He just left.
Yeah, he
Remember,
left.
they got to the
They
crossroads.
found,
Oh, yeah.
They,
He's
they
like-
left.
yeah.
They left him to Mad Mart again.
Yeah,
and then
and then he's
everyone
like,
took
"All right,
off except
later."
for his friend Thimblenuts or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is true.
Sorry, it's just, I love the names. I
Actually,
just, I can't.
Rob, I wish I would have watched this movie with you for the scene.
Aw.
Yeah, but for the very specific scene of when the evil riders come and
Yeah.
Davis has to Willow has to dive out of the way,
Oh yeah.
or he would have been run over.
Yeah,
because it was a narrow. Willow nearly got
He
run
almost
down
did.
like the gladiator boy. And
I love that
just
scene.
so much wanted to have that
I was
just to
chuckling.
hear you laugh.
Yeah. I love seeing small creatures get run over by horses.
I'm not part of that one then.
I think we've talked about it on the podcast. But
Yeah, like the gladiator scene with the little where the sun gets run down. It's such an awkward cut that Rob will burst out laughing, and it's literally
It
a
just cracks
child
me up
was
every
just murdered, and Rob will start laughing, like cackling.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous.
That doesn't
I mean,
surprise me.
I do really like the world building. It would have been really
And
difficult to produce and develop this movie. Davis carries. I feel like he carries the film as best as he can, given the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that he did an incredibly good job.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'll never knock it. So
It
Oh,
does
Val
come
Kilmer
off a
did a
bit
good
like
job.
who did a good job?
Warwick.
Valley.
Yeah.
Val did okay.
Yeah.
Val did all right.
Val apparently he
improv'd this whole movie.
Yeah, which I could tell because some of the lines were very. It was just like sloppy. I don't know.
I actually that was a note that I was really kind of confused. Like Val's not known for his improv, for one.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Ron Howard movie. Also, this is a George Lucas film. How did they let him go off
The
script?
movie, one's a film.
How did they go off
What
script?
was his film before this? Was this like his second or third credit?
It was he something with like a flying cow. Secret
Flying
agent.
cow.
Top Secret.
Top Secret.
Yep.
I think that was his first
That was his
feature.
first
Flying
one.
cow.
And this is not that long.
Is it a
after
movie
that.
with a flying cow?
It has some weird thing with the cow. I
maybe one
have
scene.
seen it,
Oh,
but it's on the cover as well.
I haven't seen it.
Top Secret's
I
an
pick. I choose.
amazing
I choose that. I choose that. That's what we watch next. Flying cow.
You
I
should.
have not offered that
Top
to you.
Secret is an amazing movie, by the way. It's
Hey, well, there you go.
I have not offered that to you yet. We're not there.
I choose it. I chose it.
You're not there.
Rules change. Episode 51. It's new.
No.
I choose. I choose them all.
Not your turn. You choose them all.
Yeah, yeah.
The new rule is you get to run everything.
This whole thing was my idea.
But the green screen ages about a little bit better than Labyrinth did. Like, it is better than Labyrinth.
Blue screen wasn't even green screen.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, they have like why, if you're going to blue screen a character, why do they always have the puffy hair?
Yeah, it looks
like
terrible.
Just don't do that.
It did not hold up at all. So. Well, the brownies could have been cut entirely, and they would have made this film better.
True. I did really like Kevin Pollak as a brownie.
Nope.
I really did.
Nope.
The shield sledding, one of my favorite scenes. I thought that was great. I really liked like the getaway. Yeah,
I'll give you that one.
I thought that it was very, very cool.
Spies
Probably
Like Us.
Spies Like Us, Christmas Vacation, like just a fun get. Like literally, it was Bond escaping down a hill, but with like a fantasy movie. I really thought that was cool. I had some lines I liked. Do you want to do lines, Rob?
Let's do lines, baby.
Are you trying to make my life more difficult than it already is? You are drunk. When you are drunk, you forget that I'm in charge.
Who said
That's a
that?
good one.
Was that
It was
brownies?
the brownies. Yeah.
Brownies.
Lizards? Who you calling lizards? Your father was a lizard. Keep walking, hero. Don't even turn around. What are you doing? It's my spear. Leave it alone. I don't love her.
Chase.
She kicked me in the face. Get your hair out of my face or I'll chop it off.
I don't know who said any of these because
So
I know a
brownies?
couple of them.
Get your hair out of my face, I'll chop it off. Val said that when they're to the woman he falls in love with when they're riding on the same horse.
Oh, you mean the queen's daughter?
That one.
She was a fox too.
Who becomes a set piece? They got married actually.
They did briefly. They got married because they met on this.
Oh, okay.
Shortly after they divorced.
Yeah, in '95, I think. So
I think she did a good job too, and the
she
witch did good.
Yep.
until
They all did good.
she did. God, I don't. Oh God, I actually didn't. She was fine
Well
until they
acted.
fell in love out of the blue, which made no sense because he took a love potion.
I don't
She,
know that it was-
she
it was
loved
it was
that
pixie
because
dust.
he's a fighter.
It was some
and
weird
then suddenly
thing.
he like professes his love to her, which
He
is
is
like
a self-proclaimed
But he was
best
under a
swordsman
spell.
in the Empire. Turns out he actually is somehow.
yeah, kind of.
And then he sneaks in to get the baby out of her tent and sees her laying there, tries to steal a kiss. Warwick is trying to wave him up. Like, Willow's trying to, like, hey, focus. Like, we got a baby to rescue. Runs in, grabs the baby, and then the
Wait, no, you got to back it up. He like professes his love to her for no. He basically got roofied into doing this,
That is true. Pixie roofied.
and that's
Yep.
what bothers me. It was just like, and I don't mind the fact that they would have like connected.
I think it was a truth serum is what it was.
Okay, well, whatever it was,
Yeah,
it was just
so
like,
he just realized that he'd been in love with this woman he'd been trying to kill the whole time.
and then suddenly,
You, my sun, my moon, my starlit sky. Without you, dwell in darkness.
It's basically
I love you.
Game of Thrones.
What are you doing here?
Your power has enchanted me. I stand helpless against it.
Blood Riders.
Come to me now. Tonight, let me worship you in my arms.
Get away from me!
I love you.
Stop saying that!
How can I stop the beating of my heart? It pounds like never
Funny that she didn't just kill
The
him.
fear.
She should have just.
Love.
I can
She's a
stop
fighter.
it. I'll kill you.
Death next to love
But
is
she
trivial
was
thing.
she was desperate for love too.
She would, I guess so.
She was lonely in that.
I don't
big town.
like. I guess that's one thing I don't like. She's supposed to be. I'm a big fan of strong women, and she was one, and then a guy comes along, and all of a sudden she's swooning.
She was like
I don't
number
care- I don't care,
number
no.
two sword in the army. Yeah.
and then she had 2 more lines after they fell in love, and she was just stood there the rest of the film.
Yeah.
it?
She
She watched-
she watched
immediately
Val
became
kill some-
worthless.
Yeah,
She watched
100%.
Val kill her army, and she loved that.
Yeah. She didn't really like him anyway.
Can we talk about this elephant walrus Hydra?
Yes.
That was cool. Not really, but
I
it was
feel
kinda,
I feel like it was
interesting.
played by a man with 2 fingers and puppets on him. That's what I feel like.
What's that?
I feel like the dragon, the 2-headed Hydra.
Ebisisk?
Yeah, I feel
Which
like it was
named
just
after-
like
Hibiscus?
I feel like it was
Erebus?
Siskel and Ebert. It was named
Siskel and
after
Ebert?
Siskel and
It
Ebert,
was.
but they never say the name.
No, they don't.
There was actually a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff to film critics in this movie. There were 3 instances; those were 2 of them. But it's never explicitly said. It's more of like for the junket, for the press, where they're like, "Haha, suck it."
Yeah, that's funny.
But the dragon, I thought, was kind of a fun. I hope it was just a guy, like, because it was green screen. I hope it was just a guy with
it
finger
was stop
puppets.
motion. It was
Shut
stop
up.
motion.
Finger puppets. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun. Like I'd never seen a dragon like that before. It's kind of cool.
Well, you haven't seen Jabberwocky.
I have not seen Jabberwocky.
Lucky.
Yeah. Now, what are your guys' thoughts on the? Were they trolls?
They reminded me
I
of.
have a note on that. That is. Oh, go ahead, Rob.
Oh, I was just gonna say it reminds me of the. You guys remember the Land of the Lost TV show from the 90s, and they had that like monkey friend. That's what they. I don't remember what his name was, but that's what they reminded me of.
A
The
couple
trolls.
notes on this. I feel like this movie when and we'll get to where they turn to pigs, but I feel like when Val turns into a pig, this is where the vision for World of Warcraft began. And then I have a note that the famed George Lucas Bigfoot started as a troll in this movie. And I wish that the dragon could have caught the troll midair when it flew off. That would have been cool. But the Bigfoot sighting, the famed Bigfoot sighting, they think was like costumed by George Lucas. And
oh, really? I hadn't heard that before.
These creatures look like Bigfoot.
This sounds
Except
like
normal size.
IMDb nonsense.
No, it's not on IMDb. So like the Bigfoot that you have like the
He heard it
iconic
from
image
Dan
of.
Aykroyd.
I talk to Dan all the time, especially when I'm drinking his vodka. And you have that the guy that recorded the Bigfoot or image, the iconic one of like the sloth-like walk, was friends with George. And the theory is that for that specific shoot, the theory is that he had George mock up with his props department, like mock up this and basically game the world on Bigfoot. And looking at these creatures, it does look like that.
Fake the moon landing.
I didn't get to work on that film crew. Anyway, like I feel like this, it's kind of interesting trivia I've never paid a lot of attention to, but the first thing I thought of when I saw the trolls was that it looked like Bigfoot.
Yeah, it was about as high quality as that.
Yeah.
It was awful.
They were not trolls. They were Bigfoot.
No, they were
just
gorilla suits with
that's what
a
I'm
scary
saying.
mask on.
With like a face that was like.
I'm not sure that they know what a troll looks like,
And then,
but it's my understanding that trolls can't attack in daylight.
Well, who cares? It doesn't matter.
These-
They're one
that's-
world.
Get your head out of Lord of the Rings, you fool.
All right.
It was one more thing that could have been cut. They looked awful.
Yeah.
It added absolutely nothing.
They should not have made it in. Like when he steps in the troll poop, I was like, "What?" Like the last thing the world needs is another creature.
I thought it was funny when he tried to cast a spell on one of the trolls and it turned him into a brain, and then that's when the elephant walrus came out of the brain and he kicked it in the water, and then that's when it got big for some reason.
It grew out of the brain.
For some reason.
This is your brain on
spells.
It's very.
It's like a gremlin.
It's a very Neverlandy, Rob. Like I feel like this is a writing note for you. Like it's very Neverlandy. Maybe use it in your next issue.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll take it under advisement.
Please do. A troll told me to tell you that. I had the evil queen mommy, the Snow White evil queen. Why is the queen mommy dressed like a mummy? I have that like she's dressed as a mummy.
Stylish.
Magmorta? Is that
Yeah,
she comes?
she has a robe over a mummy costume.
Yeah.
Why?
It's comfy. I don't know.
Yeah,
Cloth.
sure.
I don't
You ever
understand.
worn one?
A mummy? Like you're wrapped with cloth. Like I don't like how would she go
It's
to
like
the
a robe.
bathroom? It doesn't make sense.
She's got there's a what do you call it? Like a onesie. Got a flap.
So at the end, like the evil queen is much more powerful than both the fake warlock that is Willow, who's also like he's just a farmer, and then the other actual witch that they've been having follow as a wombat and a goat.
Oh yeah,
this whole movie.
Who just suddenly is a main character?
Is that what she was?
2/3 of the way into the film.
I think that's what a wombat is. I don't know. They're in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, they go to war with them. She's like, in goat words, like, witch, turn me mortal and I will destroy them. He manages to turn her mortal somehow. Can you get us inside the castle, witch? Nope. Okay, like, what was her plan? Like, this whole thing, like, we got this all-powerful sorceress. Can you fix this for us? No, but thanks for turning me mortal. And then they go to war with them the next day.
Point.
And the sorceress queen turns them all into pigs.
And what's the payoff?
So I take it back.
cool.
I got that out of order. So everybody turns into pigs, except for Willow, who like protects himself with the fake wand.
Sure.
Turns the sorceress from a goat into a witch, and then she miraculously changes everybody out into human form again. And in the course of one night, they dig a trench across the beach and booby trap the whole beach in front of the castle. And then
Trapdoor horseman. That's
Trapdoor
cool.
horseman. Yep. And then they flank the entire witch army.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, no problem.
I mean, she had a plan. She knew what she was doing. She had a plan.
A woman a plan.
The scenery when they like get a boat, like when Willow's rowing across that lake to get to the baby, it looks like Vining.
Looks like what?
Where my mom and dad live.
Oh.
It was like that's literally like it could have been filmed in Vining. They didn't film it there, but they could have. But I really do like I know the brownies are worthless. They're literally worthless.
Totally worthless.
I did enjoy Kevin Pollak.
You are alone.
It could have.
Which one was he? The drunk one or the?
He had the mouse head on him.
Okay.
It could have and it should have been shorter though.
Well, the scene where he rows across the lake. Did you read about the cut scene for that one?
No.
Oh yeah. Well, there's like a boy who was like, "Don't go across the lake," and then he goes across the lake, and then he's attacked by a giant fish monster, and he took like 2 weeks of filming, and it just didn't work. It was like the animatronic was broken
really
as
work.
shit,
Yeah.
and it didn't matter. So they were like,
And it literally didn't. I didn't even notice that was weird. It was weird that they were on actual water. That's what was weird about that scene to me. Because you're right. There are a lot of forced things in this that aren't necessary. But like it is it is a fun movie. Like they did a good job, and I do like that they had that initial world, like the like basically the Shire. Like that was a cool place.
Oh yeah, I agree with you on that one. Yep. Sure.
Great production value.
It was
Yeah.
it was good production value.
When you could hear what they were saying and see what was going on. The sound mix was. I had a problem with the sound mix on this one because Willow would be like, we have to go get him.
So it is interesting.
Like, what is happening?
I honestly like you are a much better editor than I am. I don't think, and I edit literally all the time right now.
Way more than I do.
I don't know that I could do a 5-minute short film on film, like literally editing and splicing film. I don't think that I could do it. I don't know how you even do a mix like this. Like, how do you even do it? It's magnetic. Like, so, like, I agree. The mix was not great. I don't know how the blue screen worked. I don't know how the mix worked. Like, I can't even figure out how the production of that was put together. But the blue screen, at least, it was a lot better than it was in Labyrinth. Like, you couldn't see the lines around people. You could tell it was blue screened, but there wasn't actually blue or green on the screen.
Lay off Labyrinth, okay? It's like 20 movies ago, dude.
It's not enough movies ago.
Well, this came out the same summer as all that stuff, and people were just burnt out.
This was like Rambo 3. Yeah.
It was like Labyrinth and what was the other? Legend and this, and they all Krull, and they all came out around this. Not necessarily the same summer.
This
but
was kind of the last hurrah for fantasy films for a while. Like it was like everybody thought that it was a huge boon, and like they were making money at the time. But then 3 came out at one time, and the party was over. Like this was kind of the end of the road.
Well, fantasy was never a big sell because it was tough to make it look good.
Yeah, it took a lot of money.
So it wasn't until honestly Lord of the Rings, and even still since then, what has been big, fantasy wise.
The Hobbit.
No, it was not. The first one was, and then they're like, "Oh,
yeah,
these
no,
are
that was
terrible."
a mistake. Yeah,
I think. Yeah, nothing. Maybe some kids' movies or something. I don't know.
But it was just it must have been a nightmare to make it. But I did like that you could, aside from like the rodents and the monsters, like it's a PG-13 movie.
What was it rated?
I got it pulled up here.
PG. I bet you it's got to be PG.
I mean, at that time, I don't think they had the rating system. It's PG. Yeah. They don't have the rating system they do now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might even have.
So I don't think that changed till the mid-90s. So I'm not sure what the budget was, but
I think it was Indiana Jones that made them. It was one of Spielberg's films that they used.
The budget was $35 million.
Damn.
That's crazy. It made 58 domestically. Dang.
Well, it made money.
It did. It did, and that's the thing. It took until it was worldwide before it made money, but it did eventually make money. And it, like, it's just fine. Like, it's fine. It's fine.
I'll agree with that. It was fun. I liked it.
Yeah.
Didn't love it.
They have a lot of different relationships going on. I feel like they could have cut the main character, the talking characters down a little bit. But you got something over there, SD.
No, I would say that Temple of Doom was the first one responsible for PG-13.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't even the Ark.
No, no. Temple of Doom was PG.
I wonder why.
Temple of Doom was PG.
Ark of the Covenant, people's faces melt off. Doom, they get eaten by alligators. Well, it's the heart. That's what it is.
Temple of Doom. Then there was a guy gets crushed by the giant rock machine.
No, that's Ark of the Covenant.
That's Temple of Doom.
No,
it's Temple of Doom for sure because it's his
like
sash,
the rolling rock, where it chases you.
No.
That's Ark of the Covenant.
No. It's like a press machine. It's like the Mangler. It's some sort of a machine.
Where they literally crush them.
Like a printing press. Yeah, they're crushing rocks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's when Indy and the bad guys are just sword fighting and stuff, and his stash gets caught in the rolly thing, and he gets pulled back, and it is grotesque.
Okay.
So, I mean, they don't show it happening, but it is and then there's like it's like, oh my god. So
you always have one of those nasty scenes. You get the Nazi that gets chopped up in a propeller, and you get
that was a fun death.
The Indian fellow that gets steamrolled.
He does get steamrolled. Yeah. What is the? When was Howard the Duck? Do you remember offhand? 1986. So like this, it's interesting that this is what George went to from Howard the Duck. So he really needed this to do well.
And it didn't.
No, it didn't do as bad as Howard the Duck.
I mean, I'll give you this. It's better than Howard the Duck.
Yeah, that's true.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah. Same budget though.
That's interesting.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Well, do you want to rate it? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to rate it. Are you ready to rate it?
I'm ready to rate it. Go ahead, SD.
Jason, are you ready?
You got one choice, boy. Sex or the saw.
I'm going to give this. I'm going to give it sex, and I'm going to say you got a second date, but she was hesitant, or he.
Okay.
So just over 50 for me.
What does that come down to with like a chainsaw? Like you pulled on the cord?
Well, if he'd been just under, I suppose you probably would have stubbed your toe.
Okay.
It's close to that.
It's like a kiss on the cheek then, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
good night hug.
Peck.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a peck. It's a
peck, or maybe she agreed to go on the date, but then she's like, "That's just two friends."
Peck.
Play the actual famous line. Do you have that one?
There's a peck here with an acorn pointed at me.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
Of which we saw none of that in the film. We threw out the magician lady.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, no, I'm fine." I'm like, "Okay." So
yeah.
It was pointless as well.
Yep.
No payoff there. Did he use the acorn anywhere else in the film?
He throws it on the bridge, and it like
dropped it.
Yeah, he drops it and like the plank disappears.
Oh, so no.
Yeah.
Perfect. Great.
So, yeah, it's great.
So much for that.
I don't think that's no. I think that's yes, but
I just would have loved to seen Willow like as just a very like he knew just a little bit of magic, just a little bit of actual magic, which is why I wanted to be, taken in as like an apprentice to learn more.
Yeah.
But he knew nothing.
Yeah. So actually, one thing I really do like about this that I gave it a little bit higher rating because of it, and more movies should do this. Like rather than make 10 Beastmaster movies, like this one, when the movie didn't perform the way that they wanted it to, they started writing books in the series. So there is a trilogy of books that just carries on from the movie that I think is a really cool idea. If you're a fan, you can continue on, but you don't have to sit through bad movies. The story can be good on paper, and you can live with that. I thought that was really cool. So,
zippity-doo.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready. Is it my turn to rate, or do you want to rate SD?
I mean, I can give you a rating on it. I would say, just as a general, 2 out of 5 stars for me. I did not love this film. I appreciate it for what it was. I think it was relatively well made. There were some technical issues. Something like the lighting was weird. Like I remember like when Mad Mardigan and Willow are first meeting. It's like midday, and it's like the shadows are so harsh. It's like I can't even look at this right now.
Yeah.
I thought the sound mix was pretty rough in spots where it's like we could have ADR'd and fixed some of that, but it was just like what's happening? The editing, I think, was just too fast in some spots. It was like
the pacing didn't match the whole movie.
No, it didn't. It was just kind of all over the place. The brownies could have been cut entirely, and we would have.
But then we wouldn't have had Kevin Pollak as a brownie.
Fine. It's fine with his annoying. It's like it was just they absolutely could have cut 30 minutes out of this film, and would have made it so much better, so much more concise.
Because they kidnapped the baby with the bird, which took them to that spirit lady, and then she pointed them to
they could have stumbled across it. It would have been fine. And we even need that. Just keep going. They could have just kept going and been like, oh, we found the wombat. Or the possum, or whatever it was. So, which was also unnecessary, that the witch lady would have like witch kung fu at the end of the film for absolutely no reason.
Cool.
So what is going why do I care about this lady?
It's fun, why not?
So the witch would she took like this random like big role. I'm like, we don't even know who this person is. She's been a goat for half the fucking film.
Yeah.
Why do we even care about her at all? So, and I wasn't half the film. It was like literally an hour plus into it. Suddenly she shows up, and I was supposed to give a shit about her. So I don't know. I had some concerns with this one, but I mean, again, I liked Warwick Davis. I like Val Kilmer. I don't think Val Kilmer's acting was amazing in this.
Well, he wasn't acting. He was literally improving.
Yeah, and that was the problem. Like I remember, like one of the things they show on the trailer all the time is like him flipping a sword around and him falling. I'm like
the way that he was
just
fighting
fell on the floor. Yeah. Like I don't think their characters were as established as they could have been. I think the best was actually the relationship between Val Kilmer and Willow. I think I would love to see more of their back and forth. You know, I think their dynamic where you have this kind of like cocky, apathetic swordsman and like this, passionate.
That actually cared.
Yeah. It also would have been nice to have him actually be capable as a fencer. Like the stuff he was doing with the sword was garbage. Like he would have lost every fight. Like it was before. He was trying to do basically kung fu moves with the sword, and he wasn't. He was just flipping it around like, ooh.
Well, I think that was supposed to be his character, though. As he was just a big show off, but really not capable of much. I mean, he was never really. He was always just well, they were just. He was just always ambushing people, hiding in pipes, and then shooting them. And that's he was.
That is true.
That's not exciting at all. I don't like that. I did not care for that, so I would say 2 out of 5. Okay. Like I said, I don't want to discount the entire film because it was a big production and there was a lot of people involved. I think some of the special effects were pretty cool.
I'm going to tell Warwick what you said.
You should. So
it is weird that I think you have a sound effect for me. I guess I'll wait for that. But it is weird that so Jason has a 40%. Rob, you have 51 ish.
Yeah, maybe 55.
Okay.
Oh, here, let me give Zeke's little.
There we go. It is weird that I would be the high one here. I feel like I'm. So if you can find, if you have Disney, watch it on Disney on Amazon.
It's free on Disney.
If you want to rent it, it's like $8.
Completely.
Really?
That's insane. Shit. Yeah. If you want to buy it, it's $20, which is not. It's not worth that. So thankfully we had the Disney, but the $2.99 same rating. I'm gonna give it $2 out of that.
Damn.
And so I guess at this point we come to
75%, huh?
No, 66%. 66.
75%. Wow.
So it's closer to 50. But I guess at this point, like the only thing we have left is Kalima, choose your death.
You've lost a lot of your pep.
All my pep is gone.
Joie de vivre.
It's all Pepto at this point.
Joie de vivre.
So I guess it depends on how joie de vivre. Certain je ne sais quoi. But at this point, it just depends on how much you want. Do you want to know what your future could have held, or do you just want to know your future?
I already know. I chose Top Secret.
Because this film, despite its flaws, has like
thanks for listening,
has a lot of people in it that are pretty cool. But
next episode,
unfortunately for you, Rob, like I made a list of like 9 movies that really would have been cool, like including Superman 3, another Bond film, The Man Who Knew Too Little,
having a flashback,
Leprechaun, The Monster Club, Social Correspondence, Fatherland, and Top Secret. All of that is just immediately canceled because we're going with Pat Roach, who played the guy with the skull on his face, like the skull helmet. Cool You're welcome. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh, God.
Oh.
He did it.
He did it. You're welcome.
Bitch.
That's right. So, eat your heart out.
You going Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves?
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
You're making him watch
that?
I'm
making. He's never seen it.
Fucking hours.
You've seen that film 1,000 times.
I have. He hasn't. Oh, God. Yeah. You're all welcome. So, I can't wait.
I want to.
Go ahead. Hey, I'm whistling. Where are you?
I hate Kevin Costner. It's the worst.
If you need us, just whistle.
Zeke,
go ahead and do your lines.
Pull an audible.
No, I'm not. It's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. That's what we're
doing.
Just watch Hook while you're at it. Jesus.
No. He hasn't seen it. We're fixing it.
Zeke, please.
Nope.
Please.
It's happening.
Please.
Let it happen. Just let it happen.
I'm sorry I made you watch the Trilogy of Imagination.
It's too late. It's too late.
Please.
Nope.
All right, fine. All right, well, thanks for listening, everybody. SD, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you when we watch Prince of Thieves. You're watching it? You're stuck with us now?
Yeah, you bring us down a whole octave.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Everybody remember, don't be a sucker. It's been a slice. And if you need us, just whistle.
Okay, love you, bye.
The portions of today's broadcast that you actually enjoyed are brought to you in whole by...
Are you trying to set your child up for success?
Do you want to remove fear from their life?
Well, look no further than Umbilical Chord Jumping.
Start their life out right by giving them a drop and a plop right out of the womb.
You don't have to worry about hanging on. They're still attached.
That's right, Phil. Step right up. There's no height requirement for this ride.
Once they drop, they just won't stop. Celebrate their first breath with a cry to freedom. After that short drop and quick stop of make ejected from the comforts of your womb, life won't seem so hostile.
Give them the liberating jolt you wish you'd had. Hit eject from your womb today. Your kids will thank you tomorrow.
Commemorate their jumping to life by donating your cord for cords.
That's right. Umbilical corduroy commemorative jumpers are made on site so that neither you nor your fearless tot forget your feat of fortitude.
Eat your heart out, you daredevils, you leaping lizards. You did it. Wear those jumpers with pride.
Or at least you should. Sign up for Umbilical Chord Jumping today.
Just look at that bouncing baby.
2B1P in no way condones and encourages this type of behavior. Jump at your own risk. Next week is sponsored by the Tetaneni Lockjaws. Arrgh!